how you inspire. Set. No. Thank you again.
Thank you for giving us the words of wisdom. There's a small token from our side. We'd like to appreciate you. So, a big round of applause. So, moving on, this is the moment we were all waiting for. So, let me invite you, the man who needs no introduction, Dr. Arvind Kulkarni, who is the showman for this show. So over to you, Arvind.
Dear friends and colleagues, it is an incredible moment. It is a historical day today. The international community of spine is coming together today. 3 illustrious societies are coming under one roof. As I said, it is a historical and landmark day. Today is a day of stories that we are going to listen to and stories that we are going to create. The very fact that we are sitting in this unparalleled, majestic, iconic Taj Palace Hotel itself is a historical moment. It's a story in itself. In fact, the genesis of this particular hotel has legends of stories viewed around it. One such being that this city was, even now it is an envy of everyone else. Even 120 years back, Bombay was an envy of outside Bombayites. It was a hot spot even then. So Jamshedji Tata, he thought there was no place which was worthy of Bombay. Thus rose this big monumental place, which is India's pride. It symbolizes the youth, the wealth, grandeur, ambitions, aspirations, resilience, progress of this particular nation. It stands tall beyond its 120 years of existence. It represents the strength of this nation. In a similar metaphor rose MISAP, that is Minimally Invasive Spine Society of Bharat, which had a similar background. The spine surgeons did not have something that is worthy of India that speaks the language of minimal access. Initially, it started as MISI. Again, it started at Ahmedabad, sir. And then it was called MISI-Con. It sounds like mission. Doubling every year, in strength from year to year. It has become a medium of communication for us to communicate. The members of this society had first societies, which is first national societies which is propagating MIS. So now MISAP is a blockbuster. It is unstoppable. The different. Our patterns are different. Our patients behave differently. Our disorders are different. So we wanted our own society here. So from the mother society, that is SMISS, we formed an extra group which is called the SMISS-AP, which has all the constituents of Southeast Asia. This was formed in 2018 at the hotspot of Las Vegas. Why not? Because if you see the literature, Southeast Asia forms the crucible, the laboratory and cradle of MIS. And I am proud to say that this is the largest meeting of SMISS till date. Again, I want to highlight the board of this particular society, the board members. Right in the middle is the core committee of SMISS-AP. I thank them for coming here, all of you. And to the I thank you for coming here, taking time out and coming here. And there is the prince of our conference, Dr. Ayush Sharma, who is the on my way to the airport and my patient had a serious complication. I just called him and said, "Go there." 1.5 days he was with my patient. He pulled the patient out of that complication. He's an expensive surgeon. Look at his size. But still, he did not charge a single penny. I think that is the flair of this name, Gautam. They are very, very humble. They are very down to earth. They are very helpful. So that shows his character and the character of his men, that is we. And we are the ones who the founder president of this particular society, SMISS-AP, he heralded the genesis of this particular society. A close friend, a great motivator, and a brilliant teacher. You know, it sounds very well hearted, and I think he's the one who can do justice to this particular annual oration that we have. Friends, as I said, I was going to talk about stories. There are a lot of stories about India, that India is a country of snakes. These snakes, the maverick surgeons have replaced the snake charmers. High-tech robots, high magnification microscopes and endoscopes have replaced elephants. And the beauty of minimal action, it's a different India altogether. Why? Because Indians are aspirational. They are born entrepreneurs. They are tireless workers. This is epitomized by none other and all the best qualities. Welcome this titan, who's India's first and $100 billion diversified. When I read newspapers, world-class hospitals and digital classrooms. A visionary who speaks less and does. Ladies and gentlemen, please invite
for the work you do. And speaking of hope, all that true healing go healing is humanity. मुन्ना भाई ने कहा था कि जादू की झप्पी हो या सर्जरी का स्कैल्पेल, दोनों में एक ही बात होती है और वो है इंसानियत. My dear friends, to speak here, I hesitated. What could I, as a builder of enterprises, possibly offer to you, the healers of spines? But as I sat with came to my mind is the ultimate architecture needed for resilience of the human body. Is about to the organization. So perhaps today, this shared metaphor will remind us that the spine is both a medical miracle and a It was with this same that I made my first and left no job and no backup. Define my own path. उसे तुमसे मिलाने की साजिश in Mumbai, I began learning to short and polish the moment did. Always is the truth about entrepreneurship. It begins with back to Ahmedabad to help my brother to run his PVC film factory. It was 1981. It taught me the resilience needed. I got exposed to the complexities of managing people, especially the challenges of the license Raj, where just a change. Reflecting proved to be invaluable for me. Most significant for transformations that was to reshape my thinking forever. मुन्ना भाई फिल्म की सबसे गहरी बातों में से कि बापू ने कहा था नहीं होगी। Then the Prime Minister of our country began liberalizing our economy. It was as if we moved fast, becoming early importers of polymers and laying the foundations for our trading house. I was 23. In 1991, and India faced one of the darkest ever reserves left. Of the then Prime Minister, Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao, and Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. Economic reset. Devaluation and globalizations. Established corporates who had the it was the spark of reinventions we had been waiting for. Which in just 2 years this year on 31. Progress is never linear. देखा अपनी नाव निकाली because in moments when others back off in fear, and build the bridge to the future. This belief in the future would become it was this spirit that carried us into 1995. Adani Exports, which you know as Adani Enterprise, went public. The listing I was 33. But within me, was I truly building it? I realized that if we were to shape the future, it was a time in commodities, but it was time to build. The very infrastructure economies and enabled nations to grow. From that moment on, I decided to build. To stop reacting to change and instead become the foundation that shape the change. Export jetty along with a US partner to make a long and we were left to around this time in 1995-96 Gujarat government pioneered a public-private partnership policy for port development aiming to tap private sector capabilities. We dived right in. Keep in mind, we had never laid a brick before. Almost everyone called it madness. Vast land to be built by a team with a no construction experience. The fact is, in October 1998, first private port launch. Thereafter, a few years later, the SEZ policy was announced. Once again, we moved fast, while others saw a barren land. We saw 40,000 acres of possibility. My dear friends, Mundra is the manifesto. It is a reminder that vision dares, destiny bends. It is now India's largest multi-cargo port, the world's largest private single-site thermal power plant, solar and wind manufacturing hub, and a cluster of vital industries that include petrochemicals, copper smelter, solar accessories, and much more yet to come. However, the real story of Mundra is not about what we built. It is more about what it built within us. It gave us the courage to look beyond limits. It gives us the belief that barren salt lands could be converted to a world-class infrastructures. And it gave us the convictions that if we could make it happen once, faster and bolder. And what started in our Karma Bhumi has now become a pan-India network of dreams, powering our growth that has made us the world's second largest solar power company and building world largest single-site hybrid renewable park of a 30 gigawatt spanning over 500 square kilometers. India's largest integrated private airport operators with over 25% of India's passengers and 38% of our nation's air cargo. India's largest ports and logistics network, handling 30% of nation's seaborne cargo. Most highly integrated energy business, encompassing thermal and renewable generations, transmissions, distributions, LNG, LPG, CNG, PNG, battery storage, hydrogen trucks, EV charging stations, pump hydro, and mining. India's second largest and most efficient cement manufacturer, as well as aerospace and defense, data centers, and real estate. One point I would urge you to keep in mind is that our investments are manifestations of our belief in the future of India, in our energy grids, in our logistics arteries, in our industrial backbone. And it is with these convictions that we are preparing for a capital expenditures investment of nearly $100 billion over the next 5 years. And pace of this investment and its commitment is unprecedented in India's private sector history. As we do our part for strengthening the very spine of India's rise, a spine that must be unbreakable, a spine that must carry 1.4 billion dreams, a spine that tells the world that India's rise is inevitable. My dear friends, let me now shift gears and speak about the role entrepreneurs like us and potentially, like you, can play together. But first, allow me to share a deeply troubling statistics. I was shocked to learn that low back pain is now the leading cause of a disability in India, ahead of conditions like a diabetic and heart disease. India is facing a spinal epidemic, a silent crisis averages. 1 in 2 adult Indians experiences low back pain. But in lost healthcare costs and destroyed dreams. If we are to carry the full weight of our national ambitions, we must first heal the spine of our people. For medical interventions, it is a call for entrepreneurial imaginations, and it must have active participations from your side. So today, I would urge you to consider that one of you build India's first AI-powered spinal diagnostic platform that detects degenerations long before disability. Another reimagines rural surgery, creating low-cost, high-impact mobile operating theaters that bring hope to the villages. The third pioneers, the Spinal Hospital of the Future, a global center for a robotic surgery, regenerative medicine, and a next-gen bio. I can say that the possibilities are endless. But we must to pioneer this change. That is why I urge you to see yourselves as more than just medical professionals. And in turn, here is my promise. The Adani Group with you, and we have already on my 60th birthday towards healthcare education and skill development. We did not enter healthcare was out of step with the urgency of one through incremental upgrades. It needs a system-wide redesign. But a revolution, empathy, not to compete within the system, but to help and build a system respond to shifting needs and without losing sight of the human at the center. Comprehensive, today, clinical care, academic training, where they converge, where adjacent sectors meant but part of an integrated fabric. The kind that can expand would also lead with skills, thinking. Their educations must go beyond ethics and enterprise. We also realize that the spine of the system and a paramedical forces. Hence, we are also in and establishing that quality finally we must reimagine how health by placing people, human-centric insurance products that support will do our best to build. And will be delivering on this promise that we will initiate from Ahmedabad to be world-class, affordable, AI-first healthcare ecosystem. And we are proud to have the Mayo Clinic guiding us and so, my dear friends, in closing, let me leave you. If you dream of a medtech breakthrough, go for it. If you can imagine and with empathy, go for it. To being your investors. India cannot rise if her people cannot stand. And her people cannot stand without you. The spine you save today may belong to the engineer who designs tomorrow's bridges, the farmer who feeds our cities, the scientist who invents our next vaccine, or the entrepreneur who builds our next billion-dollar company. So let us stand tall. Let us stand together and let us build the backbone of our great nations. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Adani Bhai, for your. I'd like to call upon Dr. Arvind Kulkarni to bestow upon. We have a song. SMISS-AP and the all fraternity of